It's Thursday, 4:30 p.m, the day of the webcast. Chris was due at 3, yet the club still waits in silence.
Oh well, I was meant to be an hour and a quarter ago. But I didn't have the right setup for the modem. I could use ISDN, I could use the terminal adapter, I could use the network, but I couldn't use the modem. I had like sort of application exception errors and I couldn't even start the dialer. And I was looking at it going, whew. So it just took me a little bit of poking around and made me late. Got my stuff ready, the site is ready. I've just got to set this up in the space that I've allocated myself. I've got the phone line, I've got the audio feed, I've got the mains, perch a video camera around here above the lighting desk, which isn't going to be a problem. I've got my cameraman coming down between 8 and 9, and I'll have a cable. I've got a camera with me anyway, just so that I can plug in and then start the webcast really. I'm online, yeah. I'm just seeing how well I'm online now.
At first glance, things don't look great.
It looks like, totally out of the blue, one of my real servers, the real server I use for static content, the process has died on the server. So I have a look in the logs to see when the last connection was made to it. But like, that's not the sort of thing you expect.
So in English, what's happened?
In English, on March the 9th at 10 to 3, which is 3 hours ago, the internet side of what we want to do, part of it stopped working. Like the part which is running on the internet server. Yeah, absolutely unbelievable. The thing's been up, if I type uptime, been up for 148 days without a problem, and then today at 10 to 3 in the afternoon, process stopped, which is a bad omen.
Chris, in true Boy Scout fashion, comes prepared and is able to switch over to another server connection, but he's still bemused by the reason for the failure.
Handle stats, send length, bad right, broken right. That might be someone having a poke at the internet server. I have had hackers in the past, and
with time pressing, Chris must move on. His next task is to ensure the data flow is satisfactory, and that's all down to the phone lines that won him over during his earlier visit.
I'm looking at the performance of the data transfer that I'm getting over this phone line. It's not very good, to be honest, but it's not too bad. I'm getting an average of 17.3 kilobits, and normally I'd prefer 20 or more, really.
But there's worse to come. The flow rates have begun to fluctuate wildly. Time to call a friend.
I don't think it's line quality, because line quality would be consistent. It took a nosedive down to 0 and it's now back up at 19, which is very strange. I don't think it's the line because it's varying, and the line quality shouldn't vary. I mean, it works. I'm watching video, but he's given me a couple of other little tests I can do.
It's taken Chris until 8 o'clock to resolve the unforeseen internet nightmares, leaving only an hour or so for hooking the whole camera, audio and PC system together and then testing it. With the bar staff arriving and the club warming up, the pressure's definitely on. I'm just going to start encoding as if I'm starting the webcast. But, yeah, literally just that. What's encoding?
Sort of converting, digitising the output from this camera into real video and sending it to the web. So if anyone actually clicks on the link now, they'll see whatever this camera sees.
You might expect it to be DJs, the club space, maybe Chris himself, but no.
We'll see you filming. We can see us if we click on the website. So we're sorted, we're done. Only other thing is the audio feed. And if worst came to worst, there's a mic on the camera. You know, oh, hello Jamie. How you doing?
Very well.
Cool. Thanks for coming early.
All right.
Cool. It works. Just about. Just about.
The arrival of Chris's cameraman Jamie is cue for a well-earned break. The chance to at last escape the claustrophobia of the DJ console.
I'm done. Set up. I left it in coding as it happened, so in theory I wouldn't have to go back. But I'm going to go back and then work the video, work the audio, do all that sort of stuff. But other than that, we're all right. Oh yeah.
Whilst Chris eats, some background on the club night itself. Ultimate Bass is held weekly Thursdays from 10 to 3 at the Velvet Rooms on Charing Cross Road in London. Once a month, it guests at the end. It's now 4 years old and was set up by residents Jim Masters and Carl Cox as a small club night at which they and their guests could play basically exactly what they pleased. They describe it as the kind of party you'd have with friends at home. The club's music policy veers towards the harder end of the spectrum. It's widely known as a techno night, but sets can head in a variety of different directions. As Carl Cox explained earlier, Ultimate have been involved with webcasts for some time, and in the near future, the site digitaldisco.co.uk will begin netcasting all of Jim's sets from Ultimate Bass and elsewhere. Chris has organised the Ultimate Bass broadcast to promote his own site, clubguide.com, but his internet history also takes in the production of numerous other sites for clubs and DJs. He worked with techno DJ Colin Dale on the Abstract Dance site and Mr. C on his Plink Plonk record label site. But his longest standing involvement is with the End site and their webcasting, which has included broadcasts from as near as the club's bar to as far afield as Croatia and Singapore. As Ultimate Bass resident Jim Masters arrives at the club, bulging record boxes in tow, we asked him when he first came into contact with the webcaster himself.
I've known Chris for years. I used to do another club on a Thursday. I suppose it's always been my sort of thing to have like a good social sort of club on a Thursday called the Drum Club. And he used to be a regular there, and I used to do nights at the Ministry, and he used to always come down there. And he was the first person I knew that was sort of doing netcasts from clubs, and I mean, he used to do them from the End quite a bit. And so yeah, I've known him for years. I know, like I said, he was the first person I knew that was sort of on that tip, and it's definitely a way forward for clubbing. You know, it gives people a chance to experience the night if they're living too far away.
How do you feel having the cameras on you when you're?
I don't notice them. You know, it's like you know, you've got people in front of you looking at you, so and the camera's just another person looking at you. The fact that there might be anything from a few hundred to 50,000 people at the other end of it doesn't matter. It's just another set of eyes. You know, so I think if you get conscious that it's there, then it'll affect how you are. So the trick is just to ignore it.
Meanwhile, Chris and Jamie have returned, and with not a minute to spare. We're now moments away from the doors opening, and there's still a last-minute briefing to take place.
Yeah, exactly. It's all right though. It looks like that. It's obviously not going to look as good as that, but it'll look like that. It's funny that it's always upside down, isn't it? It's because, hang on, if I go like that, do you want to hold it to that?
And that's all the last-minute alterations possible. In come the paying guests. big man himself enters the arena for the grand 2-hour finale, Chris grabs his last break of the evening. How's it gone?
Loads of people turned up, basically. There was Mexico, France, Netherlands, all different parts of Europe, like especially like the Hollands and all that sort of stuff. And loads from the UK. As a webcast, it's been good, actually. It's been really good. It's been like, if they'd had ISDN, I could say that it was probably the best webcast.
Which should allow him to relax and enjoy the final set of the night.
I've always been into ignoring the camera and basically getting on with the floor, and that is what basically the camera picks up with what's going on onto the floor. They can see what I actually do when I do DJ, you know. I don't just stand there and you know, no smile and, you know, mix the record so perfectly you don't even know that it's been done. I just don't have a problem with it. I actually have a lot of fun.
It all works, as usual, by the skin of my teeth sort of thing, but it's all right.